Morning guys, John with SP California Bushcraft. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. So today for this episode we are going to be doing a new knife review on a knife that not many people really do that much, which is kind of surprising. But the knife we're going to be checking out today is a knife I've been carrying with me throughout my whole hike today, and I haven't used it yet, so it's going to be a first time. But say hello to the Selkirk survival knife by Buck. That's right, this knife is by Buck. So stick around, let's go take a look at it. Welcome back everybody. So I've done a lot of reviews on a couple of knives that I own. Gerber, Charade, even the OKC Bushcrafter, and I never thought I would ever own a Buck knife. Now I've had a Buck knife before when I was younger, but it was a little pocket knife I used to carry. But I would never thought that I would find a survival knife by Buck, and I have to say, this is actually a pretty nice little knife here. I mean, it's very decent. And it's actually got some great features to it. So let's go ahead and pull it out of the sheath here. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So let's go ahead and give you guys a full breakdown of the Buck Selkirk survival knife. Now, the Buck survival knife in this particular situation is named after the rugged Selkirk mountain range beginning in the northern panhandle of Idaho. The Selkirk is a mid-survival knife with bonus add-on features to help maximize survival in rugged to tough outdoors. So the knife itself is 4 5/8 420 HC drop point style, and this is a full-tang blade. Brown and black CNC coated micarta handles, which is very, very nice. Injected mold, and then we've also comes with a 2 1/4 inch ferrocerium striker with which will integrate into the striker and handle, which we'll talk more about that later. Overall length of this particular blade is 9.5 inches. The knife weighs about 7.6 ounces, and this is a really, really good knife by Buck. I mean, I have to say I've been pretty impressed with it. I haven't had a chance to field test it yet, so what do you say we go ahead and check out a couple of tests here? We're going to do a couple of simple tests, nothing heavy duty. Now before we do though, let's go ahead and put the knife down, and let's talk about the sheath. Now the sheath itself is a hard plastic sheath, almost like a Kydex, probably not even close to a Kydex though, but it's a very nice doable sheath. The knife slides in very, very well. Does have a click, so I'm shaking this thing pretty hard, and this knife is not coming out of this sheath. Now another thing about the knife too is that it's also got a very nice pommel on the end for maybe breaking some nuts, or in some people's cases bashing some skulls. Not really. Now the ferrocerium rod is a very small ferrocerium rod, but it locks into place into the sheath because the sheath system itself is designed for multiple carries, so you can carry this knife sheath at a 90-degree angle like this, or you can switch it around to carry at other angles on the back of your belt, or even on your belt itself. Ferrocerium rod can go either on the top or on the bottom of the knife sheath. Locks in very nicely. And one unique thing about this particular ferro rod is the fact that it does have a whistle, an emergency whistle on the end of it. So let's give this a little bit of a blow. Not bad. Not bad at all. So let's go ahead and pull the knife out of the sheath. Made in China, of course. I know some people are not usually fans of knives that are made in China, but I have to say I'm actually pretty impressed with this knife here. Jimping on the knife. Feels pretty good to the touch, not too aggressive. Let's have a look at the bevel. Very nice. Very nice and smooth. Nice 90-degree spine. See how it showers. Very nice. Creates the sparks very, very well. Alright. Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and put this back into the sheath here. So, let's go ahead and change the camera on here. We'll find some wood and take this to a first initial sharpness test. Alright, I got a couple pieces of wood here that we're going to go ahead and do the initial sharpness test. So let's go ahead and give it a shot here, shall we? Wow. It's biting pretty good. Oops. That's okay. Got another one just in case. Wow. Now I do have to say, sharpness on this particular knife is very, very nice. Let's go ahead and find another piece of wood here. We'll go ahead and try to do some feather sticks with it. Get a fresh piece. This will do. Oops. For a simple little task like feathering, this knife actually does very, very good. I'm pretty impressed with it. This is the first survival knife I've actually ever owned from Buck. Now the other thing too that we want to go ahead and test out here, let's go ahead and change the camera positions here. We'll test out the pommel. So I found a piece of bark here that came from a tree found down on the ground. Let's go ahead and test the pommel out and see how it does. Now one thing to keep in mind is that this wood is pretty cracked. It's cracked pretty good, but this is still a good test of the pommel for right now. And so far, I have to say, felt a little bit when you use the pommel though on this knife. Ooh, let me try that again here. if you put a lot of pressure on it, you feel a little bit of the what was it that my buddy Tactical always says that he calls it? I'm trying to remember exactly what it is that he calls it. You feel a little bit of a shock. That's what it was. Took me a while to think about that one. Thanks, Tac. You feel a little bit of shock in this portion of your finger right here when you have the knife in a good grip, especially if you're pummeling. And you're using a lot of pressure to pummel. It can't hurt your finger. However, go ahead and grab a small maybe piece of wood here. Oops, I almost got my finger with my knife here. But if you're using the blade to make the feather sticks, or if you're using the knife blade to basically carve your wood, there's no shock whatsoever. The knife is comfortable in the hand. If I use the jimping, on the knife to make good push cuts, especially when it comes to making feather sticks. I have to say, it actually feels really good in the hands. I mean, if you're using a knife for a long period of time to make your feather sticks, you will feel that shock eventually. I'm feeling it right now, as a matter of fact. But still, I mean, you can't go wrong with the results. That is still pretty good results, especially for a knife like this that I found at a local sporting goods store. So, what are my overall impressions of the knife? I actually do like it. It's a nice knife. It's a nice knife made by Buck. This is the first time I've ever tested a survival knife from Buck, and I think it's a cool knife. It's a great knife for pretty much anybody. Or this is actually also a good knife too for those who are just getting started out in bushcraft, because you want to buy a knife that you know for a fact that is going to last you a long time, but at the same time you don't want to spend the money. And on my channel, what I try to concentrate on, at least some of the stuff I try to concentrate on my channel, is I try to find items that you could purchase that are going to be good for you in the long run, and at the same time they're not going to break the bank, because a lot of people these days now, with everything that's going on around here, a lot of people are worried about breaking the bank and making sure they have enough money to support their families and their kids. So, other overall impressions of the knife, going back to the sheath system. The sheath system itself, it's got a nice click on it. It does hold the knife in there very well, and look at that. I am literally holding it by the actual holder itself, and I can't even get it out. Now, only negative thing I do have about the knife is that it came with in this center hole right here, it came with a small little plastic clip where it goes into here. So the only way for you to actually get that off, especially if you're using a full-size belt like I do, you have to unscrew the sheath and release it a little bit to be able to get that plastic insert out of there. if you want this to go on a full-size belt. Now, I will say though that when it comes to putting this holster here back on the sheath, I do have to say that it's easy and simple to work with, which is good. I like simple and easy. So if you do need to take that piece off, or if you want to change the angles of the sheath around a little bit, the sheath system with a screwdriver, with a flathead screwdriver, is actually pretty simple and easy to do, in all honesty. So could this sheath be any better? I would say yes. I would have gone maybe with more. I was hoping for more of a Kydex sheath, but still, for a hard plastic sheath and for the money you pay for this knife, this is not a bad sheath system whatsoever. It's honestly worth the money for this particular knife. Clean off a little bit here. So, price point, I paid $69.99 for this knife at Big 5 Sporting Goods, including tax. That's around $75. So the average street price you can find this knife, if you want to get it cheaper, you can probably find it from anywhere between $40 and $70. Depends on where you're going to go, and I'll include links in the description on where you can buy this knife if you're interested in this knife. So overall rating on this particular knife, best out of 10. I would have to give this knife I would have to give this at least an 8.9. 8.9. Reason for being is that, for one thing, is that you do have to remove the sheath a little bit if you want to fit this knife onto a full-size belt. Second thing is that I kind of wish that they would have included a bigger ferro rod than what actually comes with the knife, but at the same time I do like the idea that there is an emergency whistle on the end of the ferro rod, so that does kind of outweigh it just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. So, do I think this is a good knife to have? The answer, absolutely. I think this is a good knife for anybody that's looking for a beginner survival knife, just to see where they're going to be. Or you can also use this knife as a day hiking knife. Fits very well. It's comfortable on the belt, and it's you hardly ever feel that it's there unless you're like kind of messing with it more. But why don't I go ahead and put this knife back on the belt so you can see how it looks. Alright guys, let's go ahead and put the knife back on the belt. There we go. You hardly feel that the knife, you do feel the knife is there, especially if you have your belt nice and tight, but still. Honestly, I do like it a lot. I do like this knife. It's a good knife. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this review on the Buck Selkirk. And I hope you guys are interested in this type of knife. And this is the first time I've ever reviewed any other type of knife out there on the market. I've seen a lot of other people do reviews on K-Bar, Charade, LT Wright, and also to CRKT, and a couple of other knives, Tops knives. That's also another good example. And I have to say, all of those are very, very fantastic knives. No argument there. I do have 2 Charades and an OKC at home myself, and I've also got a Gerber, and now I have a buck knife. And this is the first time I've ever had a full tang buck knife like this. and this is pretty, and this is very nice. Is this a knife I would carry out with me into the woods? I would say yes, definitely. Is this going to replace my OKC Bushcrafter? Nah. My OKC Bushcrafter is still in pretty good shape and I could still use it. So I'm going to keep using that one until I decide I just don't want to use it anymore. But still, a fantastic knife to have on your body. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video review of the Buck Selkirk knife. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and if you have any questions about it, please just leave a comment for me below, and I'll be happy to answer the questions as much as I can. So again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your comments, your views, and support. I hope you all enjoyed the outdoors. Get out there; it's a very beautiful world, and not to mention with all the rain that we've all had. Wherever you go, it's probably nice and green and beautiful. So again, thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful time. Take care. Bye.